Hey guys, welcome to today's episode of Hustle at Work. And as you all know, Hustle at Work is a series of interview with industry experts where we talk about what, how, and when the things need to be done. And we talk about bridging the gap between what really happens on the ground to what people and teachers and preachers tell you about what you should do to upskill yourself. So today we have with us an expert from the education industry, that is Ms Pooja Bose. She's the principal for the hiring school in Munnar in Kerela. We are glad to have you on this platform, Ms Pooja, today. Very warm welcome to you. And definitely, we would quickly like to start with our conversation on the first point. Like, we would first, the audience would like to know more about you, and then we'll take further to how e-learning things are coming up in the education system and the culture within the education system as an organization. So, Ms. Pooja, over to you.
So, hello everyone, and thank you, Sakshi, for giving me this opportunity. Sakshi, since you've asked me to say something about myself, I'll start from the journey when I first touched education, and that was obviously in my own school. And my schooling is from Delhi. I'm from a very old convent of Delhi. And so it's a very old and traditional convent school of Delhi, the Queen Mary School. I don't know whether you've heard of it or not.
Yeah, the
And
brand is quite heard.
so, so I've spent 12 years there. After that, I did my graduation from the Delhi University. I specialized in a subject called child development, which is a very fascinating subject because it gives you insight about how the child develops and grows, and how the psychology and the physiology of a child develops, and how being a child is very different from being an adult. So we've got to give the children certain specific experiences so as to make their personality positive and robust, so that they can face the challenges of the world when they grow up as an adult. So that subject was very interesting, and actually, a lot of the things which I would be doing in my future was built or was decided during those 3 years of my graduation in Delhi University. After that, I also did my B.Ed from Delhi University, which again was a wonderful experience, though very intensive. That time we had a 1 year B.Ed program, and but then it was quite rigorous and it was very insightful. Also, it gave us a lot of knowledge about how teaching, quality teaching, should be done. It was very different from the other B.Ed programs which were running across the country, which were quite run of the mill. But this program had some very, I would say, knowledgeable professors and some of the best teachers in the field of education. So I was fortunate to be tutored by them. In 1994, my journey as a professional began. I started with very junior classes. I started teaching junior classes, and in fact, it turned out to be a learning in itself, because when you teach from just at the lowest rung of the ladder and move upwards, it kind of builds your blocks in the mind, how one teaches different age groups, different levels, which I learned over the period of years. And as I graduated up, so slowly from a kindergarten teacher, I became a primary teacher, then I became a trained graduate teacher. And then finally, in the process, I kept on learning, upskilling myself, learning myself. I did 2 master's degrees during this time period in English as well as in education. I also, gathered some international certifications in the process as a trainer, as a language trainer, as an ASL trainer, because my main forte was English language. And thereafter, I did my master's in education because I wanted to get into administration also, which I did. In 2013, I actually stepped my foot into the field of education, and it was quite exciting. It was quite a challenge, though, but I think I did the right thing at that point of time, because a lot of revolutionary changes were happening during that time, and the world needed young and dynamic principals. They were looking out for somebody who would be energetic and who would have the grit and the determination to bring about changes in the organization, yet be open to the technological inputs which were coming from outside. So the combination of all of that led to me getting, a good what do you call opportunity, and that is the time I began. I headed a school. I headed number of schools. I was a founder principal of two schools. Then I headed number of schools. One thing I felt very strongly at that time, and which I can vouch for it today also, is that gone are those days when the principals would think that they are the last word. Now, with the passing of time, age, what is called for is more of collaboration, more of reaching out, more of huddling and getting ideas together, putting ideas together, and trying to understand how does it feel on the other side. So these qualities are the ones which are very, very contemporary qualities and 21st century qualities. So one needs to be ready to open up. And
Right.
rigidities are a thing of the past. So as a principal, if you are more open minded, if you are more ready for embracing the change, I think you will do better, and you will also be able to facilitate growth in the educational industry which you are heading. So in it, this is my what you call a, an overview of my life.
That's
I
really
a lot.
insightful, you know.
Yeah, in the process, I could travel a lot, and I could work in different kind of settings, different kind of schools. So it wasn't that I was always in the you know. I was always working in an international school. No, sometimes I have always maintained that variety of experiences enriches your life. So I have worked because my husband was in the army, so we could travel so many places. So I've worked even in tribal schools, and I've worked in international schools, and I've worked in very stiff convent schools. So that has actually added more colors to my palette of life.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, listening to your stories, I'm definitely sure it will inspire many. So, we have also seen, like, that there has been a difference in the culture of the organizations right now, especially after the post-COVID situation, since it has shown a large impact on the educational system. We have also seen that there needs to be a change in the mindset when people are working from home and they are working with different kind of system and support that to what they were working earlier. So what are the practical things that you saw within your organization as to what changed with respect to the mindset of the people, the teachers, the parents? So that we would like to know from you.
The very definition of schools has changed. Earlier, school was a very physical entity. For us, a school was a building with ground, four walls, boundaries. But now the school has kind of, there's a great diffusion which has taken place between school and home. The students no longer have to go to school to be schooled. Now, sitting at home, the schooling can happen. That's a realization which has taken place not only with parents, but also with the students, with the teachers. Now, as we understand, schools have uh, changed the way they looked at classroom experiences. Now we have to make the classroom experiences virtual, engaging, and relevant. Anything which is irrelevant is immediately rejected by the students. They have an option not to attend a class. Even if the child is very young, he still has an option and he's available. He's able to exercise that option also by logging out or switching off the video. So therefore, it is a direct reflection on how good your class quality is. The third change which has happened is the way we used to look at assessments. Earlier, we were very straightforward and clear that assessment means an exam, pen and paper, and the child will come and he'll be marked. Those marks will be entered in the report card, and as a result, the child will be promoted or will not be promoted. But now, suddenly, CBSE tells us that assessments will be informal. Assessments will be in various ways and means. It need not be pen and paper. So, in fact, throughout the year, we have not had very many pen and paper assessments. We've relied on things like projects or Viva or art integrated activities, which have led us to understand that children can be assessed in means other than the traditional mode. Children also have understood one thing, that they don't have to mug up everything. Rote learning is of no consequence, is not no relevance anymore. So there, with them, if they understand a concept and if they can express that concept in their own words in a creative way, I think they will be given credit for that. So there has been, I would say, the whole canvas of the education system in schools has been painted with a lot of colors now. And the I think it's very interesting because the teacher has to put in a lot of thoughts, imaginations, to kind of make the entire curriculum and school activities more interesting and different for the learners. I think this is a very good situation, and it's going to promote learners who had other skills, like they were maybe auditory learners or calisthenic learners. For them, it is a good situation because no more are the students who are simply writing on the paper are being given undue credit. So it's a win-win situation, both sides, I think.
Yeah, that's right. So basically, also we have seen that there is a change in the culture of the organizations. Like first, we didn't offer work from home, especially for schools. Then we didn't offer a lot of more support from, like, when you're working at a remote location, being a teacher, if you're working at a remote location. Like I have come around situations where, like while virtually talking with some of my friends from the industry, we have literally come to know that even if a teacher is sitting in Bombay, but the school is in the same school is in somewhere in, in suburbs, somewhere else, maybe like in some other city, then also even teachers are teaching for that particular school, or maybe like, that particular franchise of the same brand. So even this is happening now. So what changes have you seen in this like type of e-learning culture that is developing in the education system?
Yeah, so this situation of distance not being of any relevance anymore, physical distance is of no relevance anymore. We have understood that the teacher can sit anywhere and access her, her students from anywhere in India is a good situation. Now, students also are scattered all over the country. They are at various points. Some are at relatives, and they are even sometimes unwell because of the COVID. But still, their learning has not stopped. So, one good thing, learning can continue wherever you are, learning can continue whenever you want. There is, you can choose your time, you can choose your place of learning, you can choose your tool of learning. You can learn through YouTube, you can learn through a video lecture, you can learn through reading yourself. So there are a whole lot of options available. The child has become an independent learner in a way. The teacher has become an independent teacher in a way. There is no close monitoring of the teacher. Now, earlier principle was, observing the classes, that you have to teach in this manner. If the section A teacher will teach like this, section B also has to teach like this. All that is finished. You can't monitor, you can't manage anyone nowadays because everybody is responsible for their own job, for their own task. And the results are also very, very transparent that teachers who are not teaching well will be rejected by the students. So now it's a it's a game changer. COVID has become a game changer in that way. Yeah.
Also, we have seen that there is a shift in the way teachers need to learn a lot of things. So earlier there were traditional ways in which, specifically like in India, if we talk about, we had B.Ed programs, that is Bachelor's in Education programs, M.Ed programs, where teachers were taught as to how to teach, and like they were taught about different methodologies that have been followed throughout the years. So now, in fact, like what I feel personally is like even teachers need more of skills nowadays. So since you have been on the practical grounds, connected more to the teachers, what is your advice that what should be the top 5 skills or top skills of those teachers who are just trying to enter into the field of education as a career option?
So if you talk about 2021, if somebody wants to become a teacher or 2021, what are the skills that she should possess? Let's look at it this way because
Yeah.
the
Okay.
pandemic world is going to look very different.
Right.
So let us look at a post-pandemic world. And I think the teacher, first of all, should take change in her stride. So change, when it happens, is met with a lot of resistance all across. And this change, this resistance to change is not a good thing because change is inevitable now. There might be times when fast changes are happening, or there might be times when the changes are slower, not very visible. But change is inevitable. That will be happening as even as we speak. Um, we as teachers have to be ready to face those changes, and our attitude towards those change has to be very positive. It happens. It brings ripple effects in all areas of your functioning. For example, your home functioning, the way you conduct a class, the way you cook, the way you travel, everything changes. The way you party, everything changes. So the change has a ripple effect in all areas of your lives. Embrace it positively. That is one. The second would be, embrace technology. Teachers who shy away from technology, teachers who feel that they will not be able to take a class online or they are not ready to learn new tools of teaching, they will be phased out slowly. Because who is good with her, technical skills, navigating skills on the internet, will have obviously more access to information. And also, she will be able to relate to the students better by telling them more interesting facts, by showing them more interesting videos or more better data or statistics to make a point in the classroom, to make an impact in the classroom. I think the teachers have to be tech savvy and make be very comfortable with technology. Also, they should be ready to invest in technology and learning. They invest not only their money but also time. It should not be that post school my bag is closed, my books are closed, now I'm not going to do anything related to my profession. It won't happen anymore because of the diffusion in terms of our work. Now sitting at home 8 o'clock also, I find teachers attending phone calls. Sad to say, this is the reality. It's not something which is very healthy. Every change is not for the better, but we have to cope. Like Darwin said, no, that survival of the fittest. The fittest only will survive. You have to adapt to the changes of the world. Collaboration is another important skill. I feel that you be ready to collaborate with others, be a team player, and also be ready to connect one subject with the other. Systems, compartmentalization of subjects and disciplines, those days are over. Teachers are expected to have interdisciplinary knowledge, how to teach in an interdisciplinary fashion, integrating art with different subjects. All this is going to come if you have the cognitive skills or the analytical skills to connect various subjects. So a lot of time has to be invested in that also. You have to have good analytical skills. Like you need to, have deductions, or you need to come to certain conclusions because of the certain happenings around you. Those skill, if the teacher is, for example, if the students are not logging into your class every suppose. So the teacher should have the intelligence to think that there must be something happening on Wednesday mornings that the children are not attending classes regularly. The attendance is very thin. So there might be factors, maybe something interesting is coming on internet on or television at that point of time. So the teacher has to have a more holistic approach of the environment now, keeping the learner in mind. So when you say that the learner who's sitting in the home is being taught by a teacher who's sitting elsewhere. So a whole lot of factors are there, no, in interplay. It's not just vis-a-vis a child sitting in the classroom, having a teacher in front and a blackboard in front. That's so much easier. But now the challenges have really, really gone many folds. The teacher also should be, like I said, she should be a good collaborator, she should be a good team player, and she should be creative. Her ability to create is going to be a big, is a decisive factor in making her from good to great. And only teachers who have the ability to create new products in her class, new tools in her class, maybe a beautiful video or a beautiful song about the grammar which she's going to teach today, those will be liked, those teachers will be loved and appreciated. Brilliant teacher will always be somebody who will be liked by all the students, and that's going to be her, what do you call her, winning ticket as
Yeah,
against.
the greatest asset.
Yeah. So as teachers we should be ready for all of these things now, and we also should have a very optimistic mindset. Resilience and optimistic mindset go hand in hand. The teachers have to be resilient because the times are tough in terms of their financials, in terms of their working situations. Time is not easy for teachers. Some are not earning as much as they were earning, still working over, and they also feel very claustrophobic in the home environment because they have to deliver their home tasks and work tasks together. A child looking after their own children, checking the work online is not, these are easier said than done. So we do empathize with them, but at the same time, if they develop these skills of resilience, being a team player, being creative, and being adaptable to change, I think these will go a long way in making them great teachers.
So that was really nice learning from you, and I'm sure that the audience will also have a very good insight as to what we are looking in the future coming up new generation teachers that we the skills that we look and live in them. And apart from that, now we'll move to a little bit of your personal side, and we would like to know as to what difference do you wish to create in the education system that exists today.
I feel that the government should be more empathetic to the plight of the teachers, and they also give due credit to the kind of work education, the people in education field are doing. What happens is that we are not able to improve the living standards of the teachers. The reason is that, as you know, that the teachers are not well paid in our country. So obviously, not the best brains come to this sector. So I would want education to be the most sought after profession by the best brains in the country. And that would happen when we kind of give them, make the sector attractive enough for best of the brains to join. I also would want the principals and the teachers to be the key elements in planning the curriculum of the school, the calendar of the school. We do know for a fact that all schools are different, all cities are different, towns are different. So the demands in every area is different from the other. So we should have our own kind of customized curriculum plannings done in every school, and we would want more involvement of the stakeholders of the society, the parents, the panchayats, the MLAs to be, they should be like, you know, the backing of the teachers and principals should be by them. And we feel that we are empowered enough to take our decisions and carry the process of education alive. There's a lot of uncertainty right now in the way schools will open up in the coming session. It also adds to our anxiety, and it also adds to our uncertainties, and we are unable to plan the move ahead because of this. So we would want more, what do you call, communication channels to be opening up better, and their support and their encouragement should be more towards schools.
Thank you so much for your insights and really appreciate you spending some time with us again.